Washington. Indian Navy on Thursday participated with the navies of the US, the Philippines and Japan in their first joint naval exercise in the disputed South China Sea, where China is flexing its muscles. The vessels included Indian destroyer INS Kolkata and tanker INS Shakti, a guided missile destroyer from the US Pacific Fleet, the Japanese aircraft carriers Zemo, and the Philippines patrol vessels Andres Bonifacio, the US Navy said in a statement. Commander Andrew J. Clark, the commanding officer in the USS William P. Lawrence, said, "Our team was really excited to take part in this multilateral event. Professional engagements with our allies, partners, and friends in the region are opportunities to build upon our existing. The ships conducted formation exercises, communication drills, passenger transfer, and held a leadership exchange aboard JS Zemo. The 6 vessels gathered to train together and promote maritime cooperation throughout the free and open Indo-Pacific," the Navy said in a statement. Meanwhile, the Indian Navy tweeted about the drills and posted pictures of the warship that participated in the 6-day group sail. The combined show of naval might comes at a time of heightened tensions in the trade war between China and the US, the two world powers locked in a tussle for the commercial control of South China Sea, which serves as the passage for annual trade worth of $3.5 trillion. China claims almost all of the strategic South China Sea, with Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Taiwan, and Vietnam pushing competing claims to be part of the resource-rich maritime region. The United States, Japan, and India do not have any territorial claims there. The island in the South China Sea is an area which accounts for 12% of the global fishing and through which 30% of the world's trade passes, apart from the housing possible oil and the reserves. So what do you think of Indian Navy in the South China Sea, which might trigger and alarm the Chinese Navy and its army, while India is with US, Japan and Philippines in a different drill for the first time in South China Sea? Will this be the first and the last of India's drill with the other 3 nations, or this will continue year after year to threaten China, or it might think China is a threat for India, US and Japan? A Chinese warship flotilla that had entered into the Indian Ocean, reportedly heading for the Maldives Islands, has turned around and returned to the South China Sea, says highly credible Indian Navy sources. On Tuesday, Reuters quoted the Chinese website Sina.com to report that the 11 Chinese battleships that entered the Indian Ocean amid a constitutional crisis in the tiny tropical island chain of Maldives, now under a state of emergency, clearly suggesting the gunboat diplomacy at work. However, the Indian Navy resources says that while Chinese flotilla, including a destroyer and a frigate, had indeed crossed the Indian Ocean through the Sunda Strait, it turned around and returned to the South China Sea through the Lombok Strait. The 4 straits of Malacca, Sunda, Lombok, and the Nambai Vetter are used by the Chinese People's Liberation or the PLA to cross between these bases in South China Sea and the Indian Ocean. That leaves the PLA with the 3 battleships in the vicinity, its routine deployment in the Gulf of Aden for the anti-piracy escort duties, in addition to its 28th Anti-Piracy Escort Force or the APEF, as the 3-vessel task force is called. 3 more PLA battleships that had formed the 27th APEF are currently visiting the African port. The Indian Navy meanwhile continues maintaining a heavy presence of the battle-ready battleship in the Arabian Sea, including many close to the Maldives. According to a Navy announcement last Wednesday, a tri-service maintenance exercise codenamed Hashim Lahar commenced on the western seaboard of 12 February 2018. This exercise includes the partition of large number of ships, submarines and aircraft from the Western Naval Command of the Indian Navy. The announcement also revealed the presence of Eastern Naval Command, Indian Army, Indian Air Force and the Indian Coast Guard units that are also shot to pursue or to participate to the buildup of the interoperability. In all, India has over 40 ships and submarines deployed in the exercise Pashim Lahar and similar number of combat aircraft. If further signaling were needed for the ready availability of the Indian military power, the Navy also announced that the Army Amphibious Forces, specialist units used to assault and capture the island targets, were also participating in the ongoing exercise. Contact for the comments on an Indian Navy spokesperson stated, "This is a routine training exercise that is stalking and taking places. It will last for a month." In a simple strategic terms, India's proximity to the Maldives lets it project for greater force around the archipelago than the PLA for significantly longer durations. Ongoing constitutional crisis in the Maldives is a consistent for the influence between the pro-Chinese president Abdullah Amin and his pro-Indian predecessor Mohammad Nasheed, who is currently in exile in Sri Lanka. The New Delhi is concerned that the Maldives is gravitating into Beijing's orbit. With Amin signing up for the Belt and Road Initiative, there is worry that China could eventually build a naval base here. Yemen also has allowed Beijing to invest in major port projects in the Maldives. That prompted Nasheed to state that China was buying up the Maldives. Yemen has responded with a political crackdown after the Supreme Court ordered the release of jailed opposition members earlier this month. Yemen declared a 10-day state of emergency on February 5, 2018. On Monday, Yemen sought parliamentary approval to extend the emergency for 30 days. However, in the press release on Tuesday, the Minister of External Affairs of India tweeted, "It is our expectation that the government of Maldives will not be seeking the extension of the state of emergency and resume the political process with the immediate effects." So what do you think of Chinese warship return to the South China Sea as the Indian Navy chased away and continues to have a heavy deployment around the Maldives, looks like covering up without having an interference from other countries into the Maldives and the Indian Ocean? In Beijing, China is developing a new surveillance plane designed to be launched from its aircraft carrier and fitted with a radar system to spot enemy fleet jets. The state media confirmed for the first time on Monday that China was building its first carrier-borne early warning planes, or the AWCS, called the KG-600, Hong Kong-based South China Morning Posture on today's report. The announcement comes as the United States has deployed F-35 fleet jets to base in Japan and other parts of Asia Pacific over the last year, challenging China's air defenses in the region. Chinese military observers said that KG-600 would be fitted with an advanced active electronically scanned array, or the AESA radar, which could enable it to spot the elite aircraft such as the America's F-32s and F-35s. Beijing-based military expert Li Qi said that this new surveillance plane could also become a command center in the air. AESA can detect the elite fighters at very long range, said Li. He also said that the aircraft would fill the critical weapons gap with the US and improve the combat effectiveness of the Chinese battle carrier groups. Li said the KG-600 would likely be used on China's third aircraft carrier under construction in Shanghai, and be compatible with its advanced ultramatic launch system, or the EMALS. EMALS can launch the jet more quickly and effectively than the Skyjump ramps used on China's first two aircraft carrier. Also, these spy planes can be spied on US and the Indian military on the South China Sea. As the Indian military get worries, India are getting into the defense budget or so by so, and by this year they are getting ready use of it. China currently has operationalized its first aircraft carrier, Lining, a refitted Soviet Union-made vessel, in 2012. It launched its second aircraft carrier in April 2017, which was expected to begin the sea trials next month, and it announced the plans to build the third one in Shanghai. Earlier reports said that China plans to have 4 aircraft carriers by 2030 to to operate from the disputed South China Sea as well as the Indian Ocean to have a spy on Indian militaries and the navies. So what do you think of China developing the spy plane to operate from the aircraft carrier to spy on US and the Indian military navies? Post your comments below, and if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and follow us on social networks and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching. This is WC Daily. Think big, think different. Bye.